This is a story about little people and their little dreams that sometimes make big things happen. Bigger things than anyone ever imagines. It begins at the Dream Factory with Martin Little, who had a very big delivery to make. As always, he wondered what dream could possibly be inside. But today there wasn't time to contemplate. He had a long, long way to go. Martin always looked forward to a journey. But thinking about crossing the rapidly raging river that flowed into the endless lake made him, well, jittery. But he'd seen much smaller people doing far bigger things than crossing a raging river that led to an endless lake. You see, a delivery man on an important mission learns to take the odd blow and bellow in his stride. Martin didn't think it was possible for trees to grow in slippery sea sand. But despite all the teachings of treeologists, more than 7,000 trees live in the Forest of Dreams. One for every dream come true. And 4 new trees are born every day. "That's marvelous," Martin whispered. A speaking poster. A poster had never spoken to him before. How Martin would have loved to stay and listen to more stories. But he was a working man with a parcel to deliver. So with a splidge and a splodge, off he splodged. Further and further and further until he arrived at the mountain of never ever rest. The mountainous mountain that kept growing higher and higher, steeper, sleeker, and bleaker. There was something extra special about this box. Even though Martin had just conquered the mountainous mountain of never ever rest, his journey was far from over. He had not yet crossed the dodgy, desolate desert of despair. The dodgy desert that spins you around and around in never-ending squircles. Until finally, a kind-hearted soul takes time out from herding confused kudus to help you. Luckily, the kudu herder had helped many lost delivery men before. That's awesome. Martin had just spotted the Camp Sunshine sign. The enchanted site where kids leave their worries behind and spend some time far, far away from the hospital. Martin had heard about the healing power of fun in the sun, but this place took it to another level altogether. It was getting darker, and Martin was getting hungrier. He wondered what would be for supper. Supper. Just then he was distracted by something rather odd. What? The magnificent makeover makeup machine. Whoa! Martin had never seen a girl get so spruced up in a hospital before. What a beautiful, brave little princess. Queen. I suppose most of the things he'd seen on the journey were rather extraordinary. A poster that spoke, spruced up beauty queens, and now, pirates shipwrecked in a salt pan? Oh, Oh, Martin sighed. He would have loved an invitation to play with a band of pirates. He'd almost forgotten about the power of the box. Captain Courage and his crew of fighters cordially invite you for a day of adventure. Boys only. Martin knew these were surely the most fearsome band of fighters to have ever sailed the seas. Even though they were up against the scariest illnesses, they weren't scared of nothing. And suddenly Martin wasn't afraid of anything anymore. Even heights. He had finally come to understand the power of the box. After all, he'd met children who dealt with more daunting deserts than the dodgy, desolate desert of despair, climbed meaner mountains than the mountainous mountain of Never Ever Rest, and crossed far more rugged rivers than the rapidly raging river that led to the endless lake. He'd come to realize how a dream could overcome, well, pretty much anything. He put the box down that had helped take him this far. Whatever was inside, it was something very, very powerful. He wondered what dream was about to come true, what happiness it would bring, and whose life was about to change forever.